The Weedsman Podcast.
ChristopherMedia.net.
There's a new Home Depot now open on Maurice Avenue in Maspeth. And as home improvement projects go, this is a big one. Use the product locator on our app for an in-store map to find what you need fast. And check out our new pickup lockers. They make online shopping a breeze. Of course, one thing's not new, our everyday low prices. The Home Depot, now open near Maurice Avenue and Long Island Expressway in Maspeth. And always open at HomeDepot.com. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Christopher Media. Let's make some noise. From Asthmacore Studios near Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, man.
It's the Weedsman Podcast.
I have no idea what's going on.
And now,
You have smoked yourself retarded.
here are the Weedsmen.
You want to get high?
All right, 317. I'm Chris.
I'm Aaron.
We did it. It's another week.
We're still here,
Yes.
despite my whole setup being held together with chewing gum and duct tape right now.
A little extra effort to get the show to you this week, but
Everything's falling apart at once.
that's how it goes.
My laptop, now my computer's acting up. My headphones are acting up. It's not the time to be fucking up. Shit.
Oh, wait. Damn it, I don't have it loaded. I got it laying around somewhere. Dogs and cats living together.
I need to get back to reliable gear.
Well, yeah. Just things wear out, right? You're not one for known for having janky gear, but after most of a decade, trust me, I'm the same way. I keep going like, God damn it. Every time I have to boot up my MacBook that's from 2012, I'm like, man, it's time. Why have I not done this yet?
Yeah. Well, I'm over 40 now, and every bit of change is an annoyance.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
So I was really in a groove with the. I was able to make a change with the way that I consume cannabis. I haven't smoked flower in a while. I've been doing all concentrates.
Yeah,
I got into my groove, and I was, it's doing really well. I like the cartridges and everything. They're really convenient, but the price just kept skyrocketing, and now they're not even available. I can't
Really?
get regular C-cell cartridges from my local dispensary anymore.
Why? When did that start?
Well, I don't know. I don't think it's an ongoing thing. I think it's just a supply thing. But for the last 2 weeks, I haven't been able to get anything with a 510 thread on it.
Wow.
Yeah, it started out they just started steadily increasing in price. I could get one for 45, and then it was 50, and it was 60, then 70, 80, $90, not including tax.
90 for one cartridges?
For a 1 gram cart.
Wow.
Yeah.
$90. I would just leave. Or buy something else. More than likely I buy something else because I'm still getting high.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, there's other choices. There's plenty of other ways.
Like last week, I decided to stoner it up. I got let go from my job. I got 3 months severance, so whatever. I could take the week. So if we'll go out old school, bought a bunch of flour,
About an old-fashioned fat sack.
Yes, and the old-fashioned fatty, and holy shit, forgot about. Yeah, yes, nice old-fashioned, but totally forgot about. Oh yeah, that shit knocks you on your ass. We talk about all the time. The thing we like about the cartridges is we can control it.
Yes.
2-3 hits, I'm good for a few hours. Yeah, you smoke a quarter of a joint, and you're like, oh, that's right. And then all I did was like smoke sections of joints all week, and then take a lot of naps.
Yeah. That's the joints are hard to control. If you're smoking alone, it's easy to like roll a joint and let the whole thing burn through.
Yeah. So you got to make sure you're hitting it all the time because like, oh yeah, you're not passing it around. You don't want to waste it.
Well, I took a chance on something. I almost bought some flour, but I really like the idea that I can smoke concentrates in my own house and nobody knows. Mm-hmm. Because I got teenager kids now. I mean, They know by now. They have to know.
Well, now you got to worry about them banging on the door and be like, Dad, let me hit that shit.
Right.
No, get your own. This shit is expensive.
Yeah.
You're in high school. You should have 9 connections.
Right. I'm paying through the nose for recreational over here. I'm paying taxes on this shit. You probably go to school with people who can get you shit for cheaper.
You probably buy it in first period and have the sack gone by the end of the day. Well, wait, it's virtual school now.
Yeah, if they're actually going to school, yeah.
That joke would have worked in not 2020.
Which only like 5 or 10% of their class is actually attending. Most of their class, they're doing what they call a hybrid thing, which means we would like you to come to school, but we can't make you.
Yeah, my nephew, he's going to Fraser High School. That's pretty much what they're doing. And he's a computer, he has to be a video game designer. And so he's like, what? Everything on computer? Yeah, cool. Well, +2. It's 16. You give me, wait, so you're telling me I can do all of my work at home or go to school? Like, you told me that at 16 and be like, oh, well, you want to hang out? You got my number. You know where I'll be.
Well, I think there's been some complaints that some teachers are not filling up their full hour, right? They're just getting on there, disseminating the information, and everything that they need to do takes about 20 minutes, and then they're like, all right, you're on your own.
Wasn't that class instruction anyway?
Right. That's what I was thinking. Like, it was rare that you'd have an hour where the whole hour is taken up by the teacher. Like, I've got a full curriculum laid out. They're either vamping or you got someone, or you've got some time on your own anyway.
Yeah, usually
they're just trying to fill up the time. They're just trying to warehouse you for 8 hours.
From what I remember, it's getting to be a little far. But from what a good half to the last third of your class time was you then trying to apply what you just learned, and the teacher would sit at the desk and it would be there for questions. So were they ever really filling up the hour anyway?
We're not honest with the kids. We're not honest when we're like, school is for education and for social integration, and it's also just to put you somewhere for 8 hours so we don't have to deal with your ass when we go to work.
Yeah. State-sponsored babysitter. All it's really preparing you for is your 8-hour workday.
Yeah.
Hey, get used to leaving early in the morning and coming back in the late afternoon, because that's going to be your life. So that's the complaint. Well, then,
we got their.
Then make them write longer lesson plans if be the boss, principal.
They got their first case of corona too.
What, your kid's school? Or
yeah.
Oh wow, just one.
Oh no, yeah, just one. There was one unique case that they found. It's never just one case.
So does that mean the people that were going, that's it, we're done, we'll see you in 2 weeks?
I don't know what it means. I don't care because I'm not sending my kids there. They were like, they announced on one day that, we had a case of coronavirus reported, and then a couple days later they're like, all seniors must report on this day to the building to take their SATs. I'm like, doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose of everything that we've worked up to until now?
I remember we had to go on like Saturday, and we had to. I took my ACT at a school that wasn't my school.
Yeah.
Now it must be nice. You got to worry about that shit, work it out. But I hear you. Hey, everyone stay at home except for this day. Everyone come in.
So I had to get some more cannabis, and I couldn't get a cartridge. And so I was like, do I want to dig out my bowl? But that's the thing too, is flour is not as it's not as easy to conserve, especially for somebody who's on their own. I'm not, sharing my stash, not rolling up joints to share. If I was smoking with a group of people, it'd be different.
Mm-hmm.
But with the concentrates, it's a lot easier to portion out.
Oh, for sure.
So I was looking at what they did have available. You know, there's plenty of concentrates actually out there. It's just the convenient ones that I like that don't involve me scooping something into something else, or, you know, using some special applicator stick to deal with some. I don't want to
like blowtorch.
Get a jar of wax.
Yeah.
And that little scooper thing and dump it into a. I'm not going to get a big bong with a dab rig on it and the blowtorch, heating it up.
When I did do that, I would get like those little globes that you put on the end of vape batteries.
Yes. Yeah. There's plenty of ways to do it more discreetly still, but
you're not about that.
Yeah. It's too, I'm not.
Listen, I just want to put 2 lips, inhale, get cannabis. So what you end up deciding?
Well, have you heard of dab tabs?
Sorta? Like what?
I was wondering, well, is this something that you've seen at the dispensary when you've gone, or?
Is it like, what are the, I've heard of like darts. Is that like kind of the same thing?
I don't know. I don't know what a dart is. So a dab tab is just like a little, it looks like a compressed little tablet.
Oh, no, that is not a dart. I Googled it.
It's a little hexagonal tablet. It's, well, I guess it looks like one of the allergy pills that I take, only it's a little bit thicker. But I could totally swallow one of these. And so, well, the deal is that the dispensary had was you buy 2 of these 1 gram packages of dab tabs and you get a free battery. Or I mean, they call everything a battery, but it's a full-on device. It's an all-in-one. It just looks like a skinny vape pen, basically. Mm-hmm. It's called, let's see. Yeah, it's actually made by Dab Tabs as well. It's called the Dab Tabs Go. So for about $150 all included, that was including the taxes and the delivery and everything, I got 2 of these 1 gram packages of dab tabs and the battery. And the tabs themselves come in this, you can hear me shaking it there, this cute little vial, the gold top on it, make it look all fancy and shit. And inside are just, for a 1 gram equivalent, you got 20 of these little tablets in there. It's actually a piece of ceramic.
Really?
Yeah, it's the actual, I mean, yeah, it's a little piece of ceramic that it's actually, I guess I don't know how they do it. There's concentrate that is absorbed into this little piece of ceramic. And you throw it on your vaporizer device and heat the thing up and vape it.
Yes, apparently this is Tommy Chong's new thing. Maybe he got a piece of it because I'm reading an article from LA Weekly. And yes, it's like, what, 3 or 4 hits each tab?
I think it's more than that. I mean, I smoked, I didn't smoke, I vaped and got probably 3 or 4 good hits off of it earlier. And this thing's barely charred.
Oh, wow.
And because you can kind of see, you can check your progress on it, and it'll get darker as you use it up.
So basically, it's like, hey, do you like dabs? Do you hate the mess? Use these.
Right. So, I mean, like I was saying earlier, the cartridges are convenient, but the thing about the cartridges, too, is that, aside from the fact that I can't find them right now, it's all self-contained system. Mm-hmm. Right. So if you break your cartridges, your cartridge, then that's it.
Yeah. Over.
Like there's no like scooping that stuff up and trying to dump it. I mean, if you break it in the right way, you might be able to transfer that contents into something else. Mm-hmm. But what? And how much are you going to lose in that process? But the majority of whatever was in that cartridge is lost.
Yeah, you ain't smoking it. It's over.
So this is different because it's in a way that it's easily portable and handleable. I don't know what's the word I'm trying to use here. It's easy to handle without fucking shit up. You're not going to lose anything.
No muss, no fuss.
Yes, that's the line.
I'm telling you, the commercial for this would have someone with a dab rig and like shrugging their shoulders.
Yeah, there's got to
be a better way.
Yeah, they're trying to hold the bong and the stem on the bong and the blowtorch all at once, and they're fumbling with it. They burn off their eyebrows.
Yeah,
and then like shrug their shoulders and mug at the camera.
Ralph Peel shows up, back from the dead. Wait, he died, right?
Yeah, don't talk. We're not getting down the Popeil rabbit hole again.
No, just want to make sure it's back from the dead. I know his company's dead. I just wasn't sure he's dead. But yeah, he's dead. Anyway.
Yeah, so like if you spill this shit, you just pick it up, right? Throw it back in your little vial thing.
Yeah, because too, we've all, back to regular weed, we've all had where you go to roll the joint and something happens and the weed goes everywhere. You're not getting that weed back.
Right. Yeah, even with flower, even if you're talking about full bud, it's still a lot easier to lose that. You spill it, you're not getting all of that back, right? Mm-hmm. A good deal of your weed is lost to the carpet. Even if you manage to pick up the bigger pieces.
The carpet, the dog, the couch.
So this is like a really easily transportable and...
I like the idea.
Yeah, I like the idea too. And I figured, they're not going to sell me something that just doesn't work. It might not be my cup of tea, but I'm sure it'll get me high.
Yeah, it's kind of the point.
And I like the idea that it was kind of an all-in-one thing. The company that makes these dab tabs made the rig that I'm using to vaporize it as well. And if you've ever explored all of the options in different types of concentrates and then all different types of ways of consuming that, it's a headache. It's worse than trying to research just a traditional nicotine vaping rig to make sure that you're getting everything that's compatible. Okay, so I want to try out some shatter or butter or whatever different. Then you got to figure, well, do I have to get the right device for it? And does this device have coils? Is it something that's replaceable? Am I going to be able to find those in the future?
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into that. So the bad, I guess what I don't get is how do you got a little globe? Like, what do you put on the battery to put this thing on? Right.
Well, like I was saying earlier, they call it a battery. That was the deal. They said, buy 2 of these dab tab things and get a free battery. So I had to actually call them. The place that I've been going to had really good customer service, but they want all of your orders to go through their website, and their website is dog shit.
Yeah, I hate that.
And I just don't know, how do you not know how to design a decent website in 2020? It's kind of a homogenous thing. There's certain areas where we expect to see things. It's not hard. It's not that hard. I understand programming is something that I don't know how to do. But once you know how to do the basic programming for creating the actual design of a website, there's so many templates out there.
Yeah, you don't even have to know how to do the programming now. You just need to know how to use Microsoft Publisher.
Right. And they still find a way to manage to fuck it up.
No, I had a place call me today for an interview, and I went and checked out their website. This is not hyperbole. It's straight out of 2005. I'm like, are you serious? Let me not return your phone call. Because no, I get it. Trust me. You can design a kick-ass. We have none of these companies, advertise and all. You could do something on your phone that looks, that looks fucking professional. That's where website design is at now. And yeah, and if you have a horrible website in 2020, that's the new storefront, man. That's like having like dirty windows and one of your letters burnt out or your sign.
And it also has horrible management too. And part of this is that their stock is constantly changing. The market is still in turmoil. They're always getting different types of products, and they're constantly having to update it. And I don't even know how they manage that when it comes to the actual flour. Because it's one thing to say like, oh, what you're buying is this carton. It looks like this, and they all look the same. But then when you're talking about different strains and trying to like, put up accurate representations of that, I can imagine that it's a nightmare to try and manage. But it's also your primary business, so get your shit together.
Yeah. Especially now, I mean, your digital presence is so much important this year and probably beyond.
The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.
If you look around, you'll see the world can be pretty smart. Okay, very smart. At Capella University, we think education should be smart too. That's why we're reshaping online learning with our FlexPath format. You can set your own deadlines, take classes at your own pace, even leverage your previous experience to move faster. So when it comes to earning your bachelor's degree, you know what kind of choice to make. A smart one. Visit capella.edu to learn more. Capella University. Don't just learn smarter.
There's a new Home Depot now open on Maurice Avenue in Maspeth. And as home improvement projects go, this is a big one. Use the product locator on our app for an in-store map to find what you need fast. And check out our new pickup lockers. They make online shopping a breeze. Of course, one thing's not new, our everyday low prices. The Home Depot, now open near Maurice Avenue and Long Island Expressway in Maspeth, and always open at HomeDepot.com. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
ChristopherMedia.net. The Weedsman Podcast.
So I did call them because I was like, what is this deal you have listed? I buy 2 of these things, I get a free battery. What is the battery? What are you calling a battery? Is it a full device? Or am I going to have to get something else basically what I need to know is if I get your deal, is everything going to come to my doorstep that I need to consume my THC? And the guy assured me, yes, we're sending you a full kit.
I'm trying to get stoned here. Is this going to happen?
So I got the 2 little magic vials. Like I said, they're saying it's 1 gram. I guess it's equivalent to 1 gram, or not equivalent. Like I don't know. I don't know how they're measuring any of this stuff.
You're just taking their word for it.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of have to in a situation like this.
But that's the cool thing about this is that I can, for somebody who likes to portion out his supply. I like stocking up on stuff and then say, okay, this will last me this long, right? Mm-hmm. I'm calculating toilet paper usage with and stocking up appropriately. I love doing it with my cannabis too. At the carts, it's easy. Like, oh, I can see exactly how much I'm consuming, and I know that this usually lasts me this long. I should have this many days until I have to reorder. And this kind of even breaks it down even more so. I could, if I continue using these, I can figure out exactly how much one tab, well, imagine I'm probably going through more than one of these tabs a day.
Yeah, but still, it's nice to have an actual representation of what you got left rather than, because, not trying to rub it in, but I had a cartridge running low, and I went out and got another one yesterday. But I could pick from so many kinds. I'm telling you, man, the medical card's worth it.
Yeah.
But the fact that you can, we all know when we get to that spot in the cartridge, you're like, maybe today, maybe tomorrow. Whenever I get to that, I just go and get one.
Yes.
But with this, you can actually be like, all right, I got 5 of these motherfuckers left. That is 1.5 days. I'm good till tomorrow. You can plan it out. Makes it easier, it sounds like.
Okay. So I'm trying. So I don't know. The technology's cool. I don't know if I would be happy with this replacing my normal regiment.
But you're not mad at it?
Or if I'm not mad at it yet. I I only got the thing earlier today. I got nice and high off of it after futzing with it for a while and getting used to how the setup works. But I got properly good and high. I got high and ate a bunch of frozen White Castle hamburger. Well, I didn't eat them frozen, but they come frozen. I heated them up. And
I love those.
A bunch of
they take like a minute. They're so great.
Yes. Yeah. I pigged out on those and fell asleep halfway through the season finale of Raised by Wolves. So the shit worked out.
Yeah. Sounds like it did its job.
But it's not going to be the good thing, and also the negative thing about the C-Cell cartridges is that they're so easy. And I mean, you can just lay on your back on your couch and just vape off these things continuously.
Oh, wow.
You know, well, no, I'm saying with a cartridge, you can, what am I trying to say here? With a cartridge, you're just hitting it like a normal vape. There's no prep. There's no, like, there are extra steps in here. I have to pull out the little tablet and I have to put it on the heating element and screw it on. I have to preheat it. And it's not just to like hit the button and take a big rip off of it.
Mm-hmm. So but there is a little prep.
There's prep, and it's, yeah. Well, yeah, let's see what it's going to take to get a big hit off of this thing. So I've got I'm going to unscrew the little thing on the top.
The LA Times article says there's 50 milligrams of THC in each one of those little tabs.
Yeah. So let's see. I'm looking at the tab that I have in here. It's still pretty. It's kind of dark on one side because I've been hitting it. I'm going to flip it over. It just sits. If I can get it to sit flat on here. There's a little ceramic heating element in this pen. And you just kind of drop it on there so that you get good contact. Which, this is the third attempt to try and drop this thing so it has good contact. It keeps rolling over on its side. I want it on one of the flats. Okay. So there we go. We got it in there. We screw it on. And I guess this pen device is made specifically for these things. But you can use it in other devices. And I guess I could just fucking torch this thing if I wanted to as well. I think if push came to shove, I could. I don't think it would be as efficient, but I'm pretty sure I could just drop this into a bowl and just throw a Bic on it.
Just light it on fire in the middle of your table. Could you hot knife it?
No, I don't think I could hot knife it because you couldn't compress it. But yeah, I'm sure you could do that too. You could probably just throw it. You could probably just throw it on a hot knife. But then you look like a total crackhead. Because there is that. There is a little bit of like, oh look, I'm smoking rocks. Okay, so I've got it prepped. I've got the dab tab on there. Screw on the top to it. And then if I hit this button twice, it'll do a preheat. So it's cycling through colors, showing me that it's preheating. And I think the idea here is that I just let it kind of roast for a minute on there to get to the proper temperature.
Proper temperature. Does it smoke? Well, obviously, because you inhale it.
Well, it's vapor. But yeah. Yeah, see, I got a little bit of taste off of it, but I didn't really get a big hit. Let's try it again. That's the other thing. You got to take like a really slow draw on it because you can heat it up properly, but if you start just sucking on this thing, you'll actually create too much airflow through it and it cools it down. So this is going to take about 10 seconds or more for me to fully hit this thing. So let's see. And you also have to hold it upright because you want that little rock to be sitting on that ceramic heating element, having contact with it. So again, you can't lay down on the couch like Jabba the Hutt hitting a hookah.
Sounds like my first crack rock.
So I don't know. It's not the most convenient so far. Although I like the concept of it in general. I think that I honestly think that this is going to be the future of concentrates, because again to have it in some sort of form where it's easily manageable. It just looks. I mean, it's like having pills. You know, you spend a lot on your prescription medication. If you drop a bottle of pills somewhere, you might lose a few, but you can easily recover them. Make sure you blow the cat hair off of them and throw them back in the bottle. Yeah. And that's essentially the same thing here. And there's an expiration date on them. But I think they just have to do that for any kind of cannabis product.
It's part of the lab testing?
I think so. Yeah, they put a 1-year expiration date on it. It just says use by. It's a use by date. I would imagine something like this in this form, it would probably last forever.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, just how, they tell you prescription medicines lose potency over time. Would this lose potency over time, you think?
I don't know. That's the thing is prescription meds don't generally lose potency over time. They have to, they have to put an expiration date on it legally, but I've never really paid attention to that.
Yeah, I've taken my share of meds past their date, and they seem to still work.
Yeah.
Well, you'll be able next week to give us a full report on your week with the dab tabs.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like I was saying, I haven't really had a full experience with it. First notions with this, it's interesting, it's cool, it works. I think this would be a pain in the butt to use on the regular, but maybe I'll get used to it.
Yeah, maybe next week you're like, holy shit, this is the best shit ever. I'm buying stock in dab tabs.
Yeah, because even with nicotine vaping, it took a while for me to find that combination of what type of juice I liked, what type of device, how I should set it up properly, and how I should be using all this shit to get the experience that I want. It wasn't immediate, but in general, like, nothing really beats the convenience, especially for doing a podcast like this, because like if I'm using this thing all the time, then I'm like, okay, hold on. I'm going to have to hit my device, so I'm going to be silent for about 10 to 15 seconds here.
Don't mind me, just getting high.
So I'm going to give it one last rip. I'm going to see if I can get a big hit off of this thing. So we might be doing some studio magic here. We're going to edit some of this out if it goes on for too long, or you can just vamp while I try and take a big draw of this. I've got the battery turned all the way up to max, which there's only 3 settings on it, and it's cycling through and preheating now. Okay, there it goes. It's done that. I'm holding down the button. I'm really cranking on this thing. I'm going to get this thing nice and hot.
Full bore. Max power. He is the man that you want to touch, but you mustn't touch.
Okay. So that actually worked out really well.
Really?
So I just let it, if you hit the button twice, it'll do the preheat. Right? And that'll just go through a cycle on its own, and then it'll automatically shut off. It's not just going to keep preheating until you disengage it. And then once it's done cycling, then just lay on the button and fire that shit up, and it will again time itself out. It seemed like it was about 5 seconds, and then it just started blinking and shut itself down. But that was the perfect amount of time to get a nice big hit off of it. I didn't get a huge hit, It still isn't like ripping off a bong, but this is also a small pen. And I did my research before I dropped $150 on this whole setup and found that, if I do like this, first of all, it doesn't just work with the DabTab Go pen that I have. There's a number of different, both concentrate and dry herb vaporizer products, like the packs, for example. They have instructions on how to use these things with your packs, or if you've got one of those little pens that they use for the wax that just have the open coils in there and you just goop it right onto the coil. There's instructions for using these dab tabs with those devices as well.
Tell you, the packs was the biggest waste of money for me ever.
It's overpriced.
It was, I got, because I bought the PAX 3, the one that could do flour, concentrate, and I don't know, suck your dick. But it just, the packs to me always just seem like too much work.
It would also blow on your frenulum for you.
Yeah. Too much work and not a lot of payoff. Like, you can only get about maybe like 4 or 5, maybe a half a dozen hits out of a pack, whether you're putting in concentrate or flour, and then you got to refill it.
Yep. And I mean, that's like this. I'm going to have to, actually, at some point halfway through this tab, I'm going to have to flip it over.
It's got 2 sides.
Well, it's got 2 flat sides, right? So you put it on one side and heat it up, and at a certain point it's going to burn off all the concentrate on that side, and there'll still be some on the other. So then you flip the record over and do side B.
Hell yeah. You can't flip a cartridge over. You can't flip your joint over, but you can't put the roach into another joint. But still.
But so here's another issue with the cartridges, though, and the reason why I was looking for, again, even if this doesn't replace my normal regimen, at least I have something as a backup if I can't get a cart, or if I do get a cart and it fails on me for some reason, which hasn't happened until the last 2 carts that I got. One of them has been glitchy. And so, for example, I've got it screwed into my Geek Vape device here, and when I push the button to fire it, it says protection atomizer short.
Yeah, no, I'll have it every now and then with the one that I have. It'll say no atomizer. I'm like, what are you fucking talking about? And then I got to take it out, put it back in.
Yeah, and I had to mess with this for a while trying to get it to work, and finally found that if I just screw it in halfway so the battery just makes connection, I can get it to fire up without shorting. But that was part of my concern, was that, okay, so I just spent what, $60, $70, $80 on essentially 1 gram of concentrate, but it's all tied to this, 50-cent vaporizer device that one out of however many thousand of these has to fail. It has to happen. And then what do I do? Do I trust that the dispenser is going to be like, oh, it happens? Here, we'll swap it out for you. Maybe they will, maybe they won't.
It's usually same day or within like 2 or 3 days. Like, I've had that before. I'll be like, nope, this don't work. You come back the same day and they exchange it out. But that hasn't happened to me. Quite honestly, since they started doing the lab testing, that's really when it kind of stopped happening. What I run into now is clogged cartridges. Like shit where your fucking eyes are going to pop out of your head and you just put it in there. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, and you got shit where it's like you got to get air moving through. Maybe it's been on the shelf too long, or I don't know. I've run into
clogged. I think it's cloud. Yeah. Well, that's the other thing that happened. So I got 2 cartridges. One of them has a short, and the other one, about halfway through that cartridge, it just kept getting clogged up. And you would have to suck off this thing like you're doing something vulgar.
Chrome off a bumper hitch.
Yeah, something like that.
No, trust me.
And then eventually it would release.
Yeah. No, I've had a few cartridges like that. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, I expect some of them to get that way towards the end, but when they're like that from the beginning, it's a pain in the ass. Well,
and here's the other factor that I was looking to remove from my cannabis consuming habits. These, like I was saying, the C cells, the actual devices that they fill the concentrate, they're cheap as hell. And so I don't know what's actually going in it. This is something that I'm putting in my mouth. I'm heating up and inhaling the vapors off of that. And these are, just cheap disposable devices that are being made in China with probably no oversight or regulation on them. And, actually having something that's just, putting concentrate onto a heating element. I don't know. I'm sure it's just in my head.
No, I hear you. Because I've had the thought of, if you're cheaping out on your cart, what's up with your liquid? What's up with what's in the cart?
Right. Or even just the materials that the cart's made out. I mean, maybe they're using something on their heating element that they shouldn't be. Like we've talked about the vitamin E that they were adding to some of the black market cartridges. And that was just to thin that liquid down enough so that you wouldn't get your heating element all clogged up. But that was also causing severe lung damage and in some cases death in people who were consuming it.
It has a name. I had a physical this week, and the doctor, it's got some kind of name now, some acronym, but I forget, like VILI or something like that.
Oh, a name for
the vaping sickness.
Yeah, okay.
And yeah,
Yeah, so in that same respect, like, sure, I'm buying all my stuff on the legal market. That's all, there's oversight. They're doing testing on all this stuff and making sure that it's all safe for consumption. But who's doing that in China? I know that's where they're getting all these carts from.
Nobody.
Yeah.
We've all seen the picture of the Beijing skyline. Not big on regulation in China.
Yeah.
The Weedsman Podcast.
ChristopherMedia.net.
There's a new Home Depot now open on Maurice Avenue in Maspeth. And as home improvement projects go, this is a big one. Use the product locator on our app for an in-store map to find what you need fast. And check out our new pickup lockers. They make online shopping a breeze. Of course, one thing's not new, our everyday low prices. The Home Depot, now open near Maurice Avenue and Long Island Expressway in Maspeth. And always open at HomeDepot.com. The Home Depot, how doers get more done. There's a new Home Depot now open on Maurice Avenue in Maspeth. And as home improvement projects go, this is a big one. Use the product locator on our app for an in-store map to find what you need fast. And check out our new pickup lockers. They make online shopping a breeze. Of course, one thing's not new, our everyday low prices. The Home Depot, now open near Maurice Avenue and Long Island Expressway in Maspeth. And always open at HomeDepot.com. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
ChristopherMedia.net.
The Weedsman Podcast.
Did you see that there's some Chinese school teacher that was put to death for poisoning her students?
Well, I mean, I get it.
Yes.
Yeah. She just killed her class?
I don't know exactly. She was just putting poison in their food. So I don't think it wasn't like a Jim Jones. It wasn't like a Jonestown thing. Like they had some kind of suicide pact, or they all did it on one day. I'm not even sure how many kids were sickened or died. But her intent was to slowly poison the kids.
Did she succeed? Well, yeah. Well, never mind. How old? What grade was it?
These were young kids.
And how shitty was this class? I'm gonna kill all of you. I mean, we drove some teachers into different grades, but they never wanted to kill us. We had a teacher by 7th grade year, was like her second, or I think it was her first or second year teaching, maybe her second. And we drove her out of middle school. After our class at 7th grade, she's like, I'm going to 5th grade. She said, I will never teach middle school age kids again.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, there was a dude that poisoned himself. He unfortunately died after eating too much black licorice.
What? Too much of anything. Too much water can technically kill you.
Yeah, right. It's
we got some chemical in there, or
it's not too much glyceric acid. That can't. It's GLYCYRRHIZIC. Glyceris.
Is it just from? Is that
Glycerizic?
Well, it seems like the root of it.
Fucking Snoop Dogg named this?
It's like glycerin. So is that like from black licorice itself, or just like licorice in general? Like if I ate a whole bunch of Twizzlers, would the same thing happen?
I think this is specifically black licorice.
It's like a chemical.
But he ate a bag of black licorice every day. Well, how big's a bag?
Yeah, right? Is he eating like the family-sized Twizzler bag, or?
Reports of the man, an unidentified, well, this ain't Twizzler, this is black licorice. 54-year-old from Massachusetts had consumed 1 to 2 large bags of black licorice a day. We need some sort of measurement, right? I need to understand what a large bag of black licorice, because look, you don't see black licorice everywhere, and you don't usually see it in large quantities, so that $2 bag at the Speedway, I would consider to be a large bag of black licorice.
It's true.
But I would also consider a 2-pound pouch, like you're buying jerky in bulk. That size package would be also a very large bag. Really, you get any amount of black licorice together, and I'm automatically thinking that that's too much.
Right. No, I'm with you. I've never understood. I remember having it as a kid and go, people like this? It's kind of how I felt about salt and vinegar chips. Now, as I got older, I grew to appreciate salt and vinegar chips.
Yeah.
It's not the same with the black licorice. Like, now I just think about Jaeger when I think about black licorice.
Yeah. Oh, he also had a poor diet and smoked a pack of cigarettes a day.
Oh, so maybe it wasn't the fucking... Well, probably was, but... Sounds like his...
Oh! It was a switch from red to black licorice 3 weeks before his death that doctor said proved fatal. Was that his health kick? He's like, I need to start eating better.
Black licorice.
Give me the black licorice.
Yeah.
You know, because you figure it tastes shittier, so it must be better for you.
Sure, buddy.
Still, if you're going to publish a story that's about the dangers of eating too much glyceric acid and that this guy actually died from it, give us some indication. You know, what if I really liked licorice and I was eating it every day? I might be freaking out right now. But if you tell me this guy ate, the equivalent of 3 pounds of licorice a day, I'd be like, okay, I'm never going to eat that much licorice, so I'm never going to be in the danger zone.
Yeah. Was this guy eating 16 ounces, like a full pound of this shit every day?
They studied his medical history, which included heroin use. Okay. There's a lot of factors going on here.
Yeah. You've now said 2 or 3 things that made me think, maybe it wasn't the licorice.
Yeah. Well, at least this is a New York Times article, and at least they have a decent headline on it, because it does say man died after eating a bag of black licorice every day. Factually correct. I don't know if maybe it was or wasn't the black licorice that killed them. But if this was Fox News publishing this story, it would be like, this item in your pantry could kill you today.
Yeah. Or it's NYT, they just leave out. Like, man dies after eating, black licorice every day.
Right, well, it would be a long headline if you went, man dies after eating a bag of black licorice every day and having a 20-year heroin habit and having a bad heart and bad eating habits and a generally unhealthy lifestyle.
Well, because unhealthy person dies really won't sell anything.
Yes. A man who's completely unhealthy had many, just about all the bad habits, actually.
Yeah. This guy got coronavirus. It's over.
Right.
Done. He's a walking pre-existing condition. It just reminds me when Dwight was picking out all the black jelly beans.
Was it because they were the best?
Yeah, he was standing at Pam's desk, just picking out all the black teeth were black.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It's again another thing as a kid. Like, I would give those away. Find my Easter basket at the end of May. Just shards of Easter grass and black jelly beans.
What about the buttered popcorn jelly bean?
Oh, that was the shit. I enjoyed
you like that.
I enjoyed that jelly bean.
Yeah. So most people, it's pretty unanimous. I don't even know why they make black jelly beans, because nobody likes them except for Dwight.
Who liked black? What was it? Was it like a Great Depression thing? Was it like we didn't know what candy was yet? Like what? I've never understood black licorice itself as a flavor.
I think I think it probably thrived in the days where its main competition was various toffee products. Toffee and very hard candies.
When all candy was shit, it was easy to be king.
Yeah. Yeah, and so, and it showed up one day, probably came in overseas on a ship. 2 gentlemen were trying it out. Black licorice, huh? How is it? Is it good? Well, no, but it's different. It tastes better than the whale lard that we've been chewing on up until now.
How's your rock candy? This is at least soft.
Yeah. Yeah, rock candy is that's something that is as shitty as its name implies.
Yeah. Like you have a bag of rock candy, just go right to the dentist to get your fucking tooth fixed.
Right, you'd eat it. Yeah, it's sugar, but that's all it is. It's just crystallized sugar on a stick.
You're eating a science experiment.
Right. That is what it looked like. Did you ever get one of those crystal growing kits?
No.
Have you ever ordered anything like that?
That was things my rich
big
friends
ones
had.
where you could get sea monkeys, and there's been other variations on those. Like you can get the little trilobite looking things.
Seem like the old brine shrimp.
Yeah. And then you can get the kit to grow the crystals. Oh, and the magic sand. That was another big one. And I never understood that one. You remember magic sand?
Magic sand?
You'd get this tank of water and you'd mix up this special, like, it basically just seemed like concrete. And it would be in different colors because you're probably just adding dyes to it. And then you'd squeeze it into the water and it would form these kind of castle-looking structures that would harden. I know it sounds ridiculous, and I think it's because it was. I don't actually know anyone who purchased one, but it was one of those items that was always popping up in the back of the comic book.
The YouTube videos say, magic sand, sand that is always dry.
Yeah, maybe it's something.
How to make magic sand. How to make magic sand. The sand that never gets wet.
Okay, so no, that's something different. Because this is actually, this is sand that you can form. What were these things called? What?
Magic Sand 80s. Magic Sand by Whammo. It's from 1981. See what that is. Because it doesn't look like any of these other things.
I don't know what it was. What the fuck? I think I'm just calling it Magic Sand because it's...
First of all, this toy is racist. It looks like there's some type of genie, some type of Arabic character on it.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah, the Whammo. So you'd get a little bottle of blue and a little bottle of red.
Yeah.
Modern Magic Sand seems to be... It's like there's many products like this. It's basically how can we make silly putty or Play-Doh type of stuff that'll have a different texture to it. But the original Magic Sand was just a bottle of goop, I guess. And I can see there's plenty. If you look up 80s
probably
sand toy...
Probably toxic as hell.
Oh, yeah. There were a lot of sand-related toys when I was a kid. So there was the Magic Sand, and then they also have, my grandma had one that looked just like this. An oval, about the size, it looks like what would be a big hand mirror, but it doesn't have a handle on it. It's just the oval part. Piece of clear plexi on either side, and blue and white sand inside with liquid. And you would just rotate this thing around and watch the sand shift in different ways.
Oh, okay. Because, now I'm seeing pictures of it. Yeah, I didn't have these. I had friends who had this.
Right. I used to love that thing. And I look at it now, I'm like, what the fuck is this? It's nothing, but it made cool patterns. It was a fun thing to just sit there and spin around and watch.
And probably a lot better with weed.
Yeah. Where can I get one of these now? I'm sure that...
The answer is always eBay.
Well, yeah. If I want to, pay $100 for one.
How bad do you want the Magic Sand? Sounds like the answer is not that bad.
Well, so the one that came in the flat little disc thing, that's not the Magic Sand, though. I don't know what they called that thing.
The Magic Disc?
Yeah. But I was looking for something that would actually show me what were the results of dumping Magic Sand into water. Aqua Sand. That's what they're calling it now. But yeah, if you look up Magic Sand, you'll find many pictures of the little vials that the shit would come in, but no pictures of the end result. Is any of this ringing a bell with you? Like you just dump this shit into water and it forms these like weird castle shapes.
Yeah, looking at it, no. Like this, like it looks like it looks like it's in the same category of like the toy that you would get wet. And then it would turn into a toy. The same family. The toy that it would get wet and turn into a toy? Oh, you can get on Etsy. $60 will get you the original red, blue, and green, or red, blue, and yellow set of Magic Sand. The original Whammo. 3 never used containers of Magic Sand. Still factory sealed. This special sand was created to make sand art underwater possible. That's an interesting way of phrasing it. Like, everyone... there was a period in this country where we were all struggling to try and get sand art that we could do underwater. We finally broke that barrier at a certain point. TV was young at the time, Not sure.
Makes it. That's the closest description that I've found that actually like tries to explain. But still, I can't find anybody showing me a picture.
Scrubbing through this unboxing video to try to get this. Okay, yeah, the new stuff, it actually comes in like a tube where you can like squirt it out and make your own little sand art. Because did the old one have that capability?
Yeah, I don't know. I always thought that it hardened.
It is. Like, this person is sitting there, they're sculpting underwater.
What the fuck?
It's a fucking unboxing video, essentially. It enables you to make sand sculptures underwater.
Right, but they don't, I guess they don't harden then? Because from what I can see, you can actually recover this. You just scoop it back out of the water, and it turns back into just regular sand.
Trying to see if he's about to, it looks like he's about to do this. Yeah, no, it does harden in the water. It's sculpted, but now he's scooping it out, and it's turning back into
it hardens to a degree, but it doesn't harden in a way where like you could reach in, remove that sculpture that you dropped into the water, and it would just...
No, because as soon as he's hitting the surface of the water, it's disintegrating back into powder. As soon as it hits oxygen.
Yeah. Maybe it's hydrophobic. So it's actually, if you know what hydrophobic is, it's like literally they have you can make substance. Well, there are substances, but they're working on combining these in different ways where they can actually have like whole surfaces that repel water. Like it just slides right off of it.
He was showing it in the bowl when he would put like drops of water on it. It would bead off.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a hydrophobic. And even actually I was reading about, and this was all new to me, so I didn't really absorb everything, but it was something that I wanted to dig more into because I was reading this article from some science journal or something, and they were talking about this like substance that it's kind of like a plasma where it's not quite solid, it's not quite liquid, and basically all the atoms from this substance or whatever, when you apply the right temperature and combine them in the right way, they all overlap in a way that makes them almost one big atom, right? Mm-hmm. Like they almost bond into there's no barrier between them. And what this does is allow it to not interact with other substances around it in a way that they can shoot items through. So they were like, what they had was like an aluminum bar, and they would shoot this aluminum bar through the substance. And when it was the right temperature and when it was compressed in the right way, it would actually not impede the progress of that aluminum bar at all. Right? It wouldn't slow it down. I mean, not even just like if you just fire something through the air, eventually it's going to run out of energy, right? You fire it into space where there's a vacuum and it's not interacting with other particles. There's no gravity affecting it. There's nothing to slow it down. So I shoot something into space, it goes until it hits something. But in an atmosphere and on a planet with gravity, there's forces working against that will eventually, even a bullet, if it doesn't hit something, will eventually just plop to the ground. But this was even beyond that. It was like there was not even any air resistance on this piece of aluminum that they were shooting through this substance.
Really?
That the way that the physical bar that they were shooting through this substance was just kind of cleaving its way through it as if it wasn't even touching anything. Right? It was completely frictionless.
No shit.
Yeah, it's insane.
Fucking science.
The future of material science is going to go into realms that we're not even going to consider it science fiction. It's just going to be like magic.
Like the sand.
Yes.
If you travel back in time, people would think you were a sorcerer.
Well, I mean, you take a Bic lighter with you and they'll think that.
That's true.
That's a low bar. The past is that's a low bar to impress. The future.
That's true.
You're never going to impress the future.
Hell no, because they already got the better shit. All right. Well, at the Weedsman 420 on Twitter, at the Weedsman Podcast on Instagram. I got back active on the gram with all of our stuff. Sitting there, not being used. People like it. So, yeah. So, hit us up there. The Weedsman Podcast at ChristopherMedia.net is the email. Go to ChristopherMedia.net, hit the Amazon banner if you want to help us out and not spend any extra money. You know you're using it. Everybody's using it. I'm sure the Amazon earnings report this year is going to be, Jeff's going to be a happy man. But, if you wanted to.
I just got my shipment of coffee and cat litter.
See?
My regular shipment of dry goods that I get from Amazon.
Yeah, so you want to help us out when you're ordering stuff? Because we're all going to be, still... delivery is just... It's the thing right now. So using Amazon, help us out. Hit the Amazon banner. There's a PayPal button if you want to just throw us a couple bucks. The old-fashioned way you can do that, too. And speaking of Amazon, you can find us now on Amazon Music there in the podcast game, so we're there. We are on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Spreaker.com, Google Podcast, Stitcher, ChristopherMedia.net, wherever you can listen to a podcast. That's where we're at. So thanks for listening, and stay high.
Stay high.
There's a new Home Depot now open on Maurice Avenue in Maspeth. And as home improvement projects go, this is a big one. Use the product locator on our app for an in-store map to find what you need fast. And check out our new pickup lockers. They make online shopping a breeze. Of course, one thing's not new, our everyday low prices. The Home Depot, now open near Maurice Avenue and Long Island Expressway in Maspeth. And always open at HomeDepot.com. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Estar adelante de mis pagos mensuales siempre fue un desafío y no creía que hubiera otra forma de manejar mi dinero. Solía pagar cargos por cada cheque de cajero y giro postal, hasta que escuché sobre Chase Secure Banking. Ahora puedo pagar servicios, cobrar cheques y enviar dinero, todo por un cargo mensual por servicio de $4.95. Así que decidí darle una segunda oportunidad a la banca.
Visita chase.com/Secure Banking para abrir tu cuenta sin depósito mínimo. Chase, logra más con lo que tienes.
Se aplican cargos por ATMs que no pertenecen a Chase. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. miembro de FDIC.
The Weedsman Podcast.
ChristopherMedia.net.